Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Rise Up podcast. It's so great to have you here with me today. In this episode, we're diving into a topic that resonates with so many of us. Finding a passion that not only excites you, but keeps you going for years, even decades. We'll talk about practical ways to discover what truly energizes you, and how to make that a bigger part of your life. Whether you're looking to switch gears in your career, or just searching for something that makes you feel more alive, this episode is for you. And don't forget, if you'd like to follow along or revisit what we talk about today, I've prepared a PDF transcript of this episode. It's available in the description for anyone who needs it. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's rise up together. You know, one of the biggest questions people ask themselves is, how do I find my passion? It's such a common thing to wonder about, right? You see people who seem so in love with what they do. They're energized, they're excited, and it makes you think, how do they get there? What's their secret? Well, let me tell you, it's not some magical talent or luck. It's something that every single one of us can figure out, but it takes a little bit of reflection and a different way of thinking. Let me start by saying this. Most people spend a huge part of their lives working. Think about it. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, year after year. That's a third of your life right there. And if you're doing something you don't enjoy, that's a lot of time spent being miserable. Sure, some people can push through it because they have to pay the bills or because they've gotten used to the routine. But deep down, that kind of unhappiness doesn't just go away. It sticks with you and starts to seep into other parts of your life. So if there's even a small chance to turn things around, why wouldn't you take it? You know what the problem is? Most people are told to ask themselves, what do I love? Sounds like good advice, doesn't it? But here's the truth. Most people don't have a clear answer to that question. And you know what? That's totally fine. It doesn't mean you're lost or broken or lacking direction. It just means you need to ask yourself a different question. Instead of, what do I love? Try asking, what do I feel good doing? What makes me feel energized and positive when I'm in the middle of it? The key here is to focus on the doing part. It's not about what you enjoy passively, like watching movies, scrolling through social media, or eating your favorite food. Those are things that make you happy in the moment, sure, but they're not the kind of activities that can fuel you long term. You've got to look for the things you actively do that light you up. Think about moments where time just seemed to fly by because you were so into what you were doing. Those are your clues. And let's get real. Life gives us plenty of clues if we just take the time to notice them. A lot of times, the things you're passionate about are connected to memories you've pushed aside. Maybe it's something you used to love as a kid but forgot about as you got older and busier. For example, I knew someone who spent their childhood exploring forests and playing in rivers. It was their favorite thing in the world. But then life happened. School, work, responsibilities, and they completely let it go. Years later, when they took friends to visit their hometown and ended up leading a hike, it hit them like a ton of bricks. That passion for being outdoors never went away. It was just buried under years of doing what they thought they were supposed to do. The thing is, you don't always have to start from scratch to find your passion. It's not about quitting your job tomorrow and diving into something completely different. Sometimes it's just about tweaking what you're already doing. Like, let's say you're a software developer and you notice how much you love mentoring new team members. That might be your clue. Maybe you start thinking about teaching coding or creating online tutorials. See how it's just a small shift? But that small shift can make a world of difference. I know this might sound a little abstract, so here's a practical way to get started. Take some time to reflect on your life. Really think about it. Ask yourself, when did I feel the most alive, the most excited, the most fulfilled while doing something? And don't stop at just thinking about it. Write it down. Those little moments, no matter how insignificant they might seem, are like breadcrumbs leading you towards something bigger. You might discover that your passion is closer than you think. Maybe you already love certain parts of your current job, but you've never thought about focusing on those aspects. Or maybe your passion is something that feels completely unrelated to your work right now. but with a little creativity, you can find a way to incorporate it into your life. The point is, it's not as far out of reach as you might think. And look, I'm not saying this process is easy. It takes some effort, and sometimes it's uncomfortable to think about change. But trust me, it's worth it. Because when you find something that makes you excited to wake up in the morning, it's like a weight is lifted off your shoulders. You're no longer just going through the motions, you're actually living. You know what's amazing? Once you start doing something you love, you begin to notice opportunities popping up everywhere. It's like the universe starts aligning with your energy. Maybe someone recognizes your passion and offers you a chance to collaborate. Or maybe you build something so unique that people are drawn to it. The point is, when you're working with purpose, things start to happen in ways you couldn't have imagined. So here's my challenge for you. Take a moment to really think about your life. Think about what makes you feel good, not just in a shallow, fleeting way, but in a deep, meaningful way. And once you figure that out, don't be afraid to lean into it. Even if it's just a small step, it's a step in the right direction. And who knows, that one step might be the beginning of something incredible. Because at the end of the day, isn't that what we all want? To wake up every day knowing we're doing something that truly matters to us. That's what living is all about. That's all for today's episode of the Rise Up podcast. I hope this conversation sparked something inside you, whether it's a fresh perspective or maybe even the motivation to take that first step toward uncovering your passion. Remember, it's never too late to start exploring what truly lights you up. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to check out the PDF transcript in the description for a full recap. And as always, if you enjoyed the podcast, I'd love it if you could share it with someone who might need this message today. Don't forget to subscribe for more episodes filled with energy, encouragement, and tools to help you rise up stronger than ever. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep striving, keep growing, and keep rising. Take care, everyone. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments.